For decades, medical science has chased a cure for cancer. It's become a byword for the impossible. But in recent years, new strides taken in biomedical research have started to produce some very encouraging results. And those results emerge from labs like this. I'm here to learn more about how these new treatments are produced, and that starts with meeting Crystal Sun.
Hello.
Hi, Crystal.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
My name is Crystal Sun, and I'm CEO and founder of Immunofocal. Immunofocal is mainly engaged in the development of cell therapy drugs for solid tumor, such as CAR-T.
CAR-T is a branch of what's known as immunotherapy, using the patient's own immune system to fight cancer. CAR-T works by genetically engineering the patient's T cells, which are the cells that track down and kill other cells which are diseased or infected, so that they home in and destroy cancer cells. 6 CAR-T therapies are approved for use in China, but only for blood cancers, not the solid tumours, which Immunofocal focuses on. There are more than 4 million cancer cases diagnosed in China every year, according to the World Health Organization's Global Cancer Observatory. That means, compared to many developed nations, cancer rates here are actually quite high. Lung cancer is by far the most common, but there are also high rates of colorectal and liver cancer. These generally present as what's known as solid tumours, things like sarcomas and carcinomas. And it's finding treatments for these solid tumours that the researchers here in this lab at Shanghai's ShanghaiEye Tech Park are devoted to. Do you want to show me around?
Yeah, welcome to our R&D lab. Here we can do some in vitro cell assay tests, such as the transduction rate test and the cell viability test.
Right.
Please come in.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So this is the interior of the lab. What happens here?
In here we use a cell culture. We also test the cell viability and count the cell number.
There are patients around the country now participating in clinical trials for CAR-T cell therapy for solid tumours. The techniques developed in this lab are used in much larger facilities, conducting trials with T cells from cancer patients at hospitals in Beijing, Shanghai, Hangzhou, Xiamen, and other places. The size of China's population means it's easier to recruit volunteers for clinical trials, and those trials can happen much quicker. It really speeds up the process, to the point where China is now the second largest drug developer in the world, behind only the United States. Western companies have been keen to license new Chinese-developed treatments and snap up Chinese biotech startups. And that's hardly surprising when companies produce trial results like Immunofocal's. Crystal Sun tells me that some of their treatments so far show an almost doubling of the time patients live without their disease getting worse. And if clinical trials prove that they're both safe and effective, the next step for these treatments is approval for broader use. How would you rate the pace of innovation here in China compared to elsewhere in the world?
China is making faster progress in cancer treatment innovation, especially in cell and gene therapy. There is several reasons. First, with a larger patient population and rich clinical resources and strong government support, Chinese company can conduct a clinical trial very quickly and cost efficiently. Second, Chinese companies are getting more global recognition. We are doing more deals with international companies.
Last year, funding for biotech firms hit a 7-year low as far as private investment in China goes. How do you find yourselves affected by this situation?
Yeah, last year was tough for the private biotech investments. To get through it, we've come up some strategy to find the fundraising. First, showcasing our data. The good clinical data, I think, is always the key to attract the investment. Second, we also plan to go in globally. And our products has get dual approval from China CDE and US FDA.
We saw quite recently President Xi Jinping meet with the leaders of some of China's top private enterprises and talk about really fostering the expansion of private companies. How do you foresee that filtering through to the biotech industry this year?
I'm very confident about the future of our biological industry area in China. Government are stepping up support with better funding, simpler regulation, and stronger protection for the new discoveries. This is crucial because these fields need initial support. Second, China's CAR-T therapy is growing very fast, showing promise in treating solid tumor. With rich clinical resources and access to a larger patient pool, we can turn the lab breakthrough into the real treatment more quickly.
Fascinating insights, Crystal Sun. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for the interview.